Hi, friends. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Patriot Strong podcast. I am thrilled to bring my next guest on. You guys have seen him, you've watched him, you followed him. One of the greatest. We are doing a little then and now from champion in the ring to champion on the mic. Nino, thank you so much for joining me this time.
Well, I don't have much of a mic ever, so I'm going without a mic today. But thank you, I appreciate that.
From it's kind of different being on the other side of the camera. Usually you're the one bringing the intel and doing the interviews, so I appreciate your time. I know that you're kind of strapped for time, so we're going to keep it short, sweet, to the point.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm actually at my parents' house right now. You know, everyone knows that it's no secret that I'm taking care of my family right now, and so I'm not at my studio. I'm here at my parents' house with a bunch of nurses walking around everywhere. So that's why I'm strapped for time. So I appreciate you understanding that.
No, of course. Now, we all do know, of course, you are a champion in the ring. What is one of your very favorite memories? Sorry, in in the ring. What stands out for you the most from back then in that time period of your life?
The fights where I didn't get hit. I don't know. No, I had the most first round knockouts. I think I accomplished a lot in the ring. I don't know. Every fight was different. Every fight had its own memories that came along with it. Its own training camps, its own grueling hours and sessions in the gym. I think the biggest memory that stands out for me would probably is when I won the Texas Heavyweight Championship, because it was my first belt, and it was a pretty big belt for me at the time. I won bigger belts since then, but it was my first real belt, and it was the Texas Heavyweight Championship. And I just remember like how great I felt, and I was finally in the top 30 at the time, and everything was just looking up. You know, boxing was fun. Was a great experience, probably from my first fight to 20-0. When I got to 20-0, after 20-0, the fights got harder. A lot more pressure came with it, and it started losing its fun.
Would you ever consider going back or being a trainer or being an announcer? Would you bring that back into your life?
It's hard to say. I'm really enjoying commentating on the deep state right now. I'm really enjoying this life. It's like moving from checkers to chess. Although boxing is extremely complicated, it's physical. I can't do that anymore. But I think if I don't know, would I ever manage? It depended on the fighter. It depended on the fighter. Depended if I found that love again for boxing. I don't have it anymore. It's like having an abusive marriage. You know, it's like, would you go back to your spouse? Would you go back to the person that cheated on you? I mean, that's how I felt. You know, that's how it feels. So I don't think that I would go back to the sport. No, I think I'm good where I'm at right now, and I think it's better I stay away, but you never know. I've seen stranger things happen, you know?
Now, before we get into the questions, and I know that you promote it all the time, but I just happen to have them both right here. You guys, if you haven't read Nino's books, he wrote this one by himself. His mom wrote this book. Guys, you'll go find them on Amazon, right, Nino?
You can find them on Amazon. Well, to be honest with you, the book I wrote was a cathartic experience. It was therapy. I was just so angry at the sport. I was so angry at myself that I let my opportunity slip. And I just wrote that book to get my frustrations out. I wasn't planning on publishing it at all. I just wrote it in a diary. My dad read it and had me take out about 3 or 4 chapters that people don't need to know about. But I mean, the book is no holds barred. It's pretty brutal. And then when I wrote the book, I wrote it in a month. I wrote it on my iPhone. I literally wrote the entire the entire book on my phone. And when I was done with it, my mom looked at me and goes, "Oh, I'm going to write a book." And I was like, "Okay." And she did. She wrote a book. It took her a little longer, but she wrote it. And so we both wrote these books, you know, one right after another. And it was I needed to not just shut the chapter on my life, but shut the entire book of boxing for me. It completely walk away from the sport, and that was my goodbye.
The book is really good. You share a lot. It is an all walls down kind of thing. I highly recommend everybody, you guys reading, especially if you're part of the Black Sheep family. Get to know Nino on a different little level. Now, making the switch from boxing to podcasting, I don't know exactly when that started, but you were actually one of the very first podcasters that my husband, John, and I listened to from the get-go. Like whenever all this stuff was going down, you were one of them. And it's so cool, it's kind of made it full circle getting to interview you myself on my podcast. But you're an inspiration for little people that want to get the news out. You did it, and you're giving kind of that voice to, or that inspiration to everybody else. Now, you did make a video that kind of went viral a few years ago. Is that what made the switch? Is that like the turning point for the switch? And can you go into that a little bit?
Right time, right place, right opportunity. Everything just happened at the right time. It was crazy. Like I couldn't have planned that. A lot of people say, well, how did you become a podcaster? Was it your boxing career? Well, I think the boxing career gave me some credentials for what I spoke on, but it was really just the right time, right place. I mean, it was 2020. Everyone was on lockdowns. The pandemic just hit or whatever. And I was outside having a cup of coffee, like right outside here, actually, right here. And I was having a cup of coffee on the porch, just talking about everything that was going on in Hollywood before anybody. The only person that was talking about it was Isaac Cappy at the time, and he died. I came out and I just came out swinging, and I started talking about adrenochrome. I started talking about the children. I started talking about all those things, and the video went bananas. It got millions of views like in one day, and it got translated in like different languages. I tried to take it off the internet because I got cold feet, and I really thought my safety was at risk. But instead of running from it, I embraced it. And then I just started going on a lot of podcasts. Next thing you know, I'm buying a microphone, I'm buying a light, I'm buying a computer. and that was that. And that's all she wrote. And I'm off to the races. And this has happened all organically. This has not been planned on my part at all. People really need to understand this. I have not at all planned this. This was a complete organic process. And it just is what it is. I wish I could explain it better than that, but some things God's in charge of. And I was at that time when I made that video, people need to understand I was newly sober. I was just sober from drinking. So my whole life, I was literally like rubbing my eyes coming out of a coma when all this hit. And then all of a sudden, all this was thrown on me. Like God just threw it all on me. And then here I am. So I'm still sober. I'm happy to say I never thought any of this would be possible, to be quite honest with you. I can't believe it myself. So it's really a success story. Like miracles can happen for sure. Miracles do happen.
Definitely congratulations on not only your sobriety, but also on the success of the podcast. You've had so many great names on, and you've kept us close to the fire. And by bringing on people like Juan, who kind of is that link between what's really going on and the rest of us, and you're the one that's bringing all that. So I know all of us appreciate that. Juan is one of our favorite guest. He tells it like it is. A little long-winded at times, but it's good.
People get mad at me. Because I cut him off here and there, but I have to get the steering wheel at some point because it's hard. Otherwise, I'll be on there for 4 hours with them and I won't get a question in. So I try to ask what the audience wants to hear. But Juan has been an important attribute in this movement, in the sense that he's held a lot of people's hand during this process, man. And he became a very close friend of mine. I don't consider him a guest. I consider him a friend and a family friend. And, he's taught me a lot. And he's always a pleasure to bring on. And the guy is very well connected and he's a wealth of knowledge. And people just need to understand that it's almost like he talks in parables or something, man. But you got to just take the little nuggets here and there that he leaves because they're there. You might go 2-3 hours of a podcast with Juan and get 2 bits of information out of it, but that information is so important to link together for another future podcast. It's just the way it works. It's just the way he goes in his lane.
Now, were you would you have considered yourself into politics, or did you follow politics before 2020 or before Trump started to run? Were you really involved in the political scene that way before?
Not conventional politics. I knew what was happening behind the scenes. I knew the MSM media. I knew it was Mockingbird Media. I knew the 3-letter agencies were involved in controlling the minds of the public. I knew 9/11 was an inside job. I knew all of it. Highly spiritual being. I've been awake since probably 2003. I mean, when I saw the towers come down in 2001, I knew something was up because I've been to hotels being imploded in Vegas. So when I saw it, I was like, wait, it just didn't sit right with me. And then I started learning as I went on what the truth was. And I've been awake to the globalist agenda for since 20 years, really. So when all this hit, I was expecting it. So that's why I wasn't duped in taking this. I was telling people, please don't do this. Don't do it. You don't understand. They weren't listening to me. And I was like, all right, people are going to find out the hard way, the real hard way. And they are right now. And we're seeing that. So, I thank God that I was one of the few people that was awake way before this even hit, because everyone started waking up at 2020. I was awake 10, 15 years before that, 10 years before that at least.
I think that a lot of people are seeing just how much that we've been lied about, from everything that we were taught in schools, how much even follow the money funding goes into the public schools, and you're taught what they want you to know and how they want you to know it. And whenever you learn to research a little bit for yourself, it opens this entire other literal rabbit hole full of stuff that you can just go down, and it's been corrupt for quite a long time.
Oh, come on, for thousands of years. I mean, definitely for the last decades we've seen it. We've been a compromised, captured operation for a very long time. I think we're barely breaking free from some of the chains, but I'd like to see all the chains I'd like to see us break free from all the chains. I'm watching what's happening right now very closely with Gaza. I'm paying attention to the AI. I'm paying attention to this. The reason I keep pointing my shoulders, I don't know what platform you're on, but I don't like to talk about that word.
No, you're right. No.
Yeah. So that's what it is. I'm paying attention because it's one thing to see the pendulum swing totally far left, but when it starts going to the right, it's about how far right are we going to go. One extreme to the other is no good. So, but I understand the cure has to be greater than the disease to take care of the disease, but the cure can't keep going. Too much of anything's bad, and then all of a sudden it's a disease. And now we're dealing with right-wing craziness. This has come back. This has to come back in the middle. It has to be neutral, and we have to get back to being Americans again, or a republic. Let's put it that way. And I hope like hell that things are what people are who they say they are, and we don't see that happen. So I'm paying close attention. I'm watching it very closely on ninoscorner.tv.
And one other thing that I was curious about, you're right at the border. What are you seeing the changes since Trump took office? What changes are you seeing? Then I know that you went down on Instagram, or you were live on Instagram a few days ago. But for those of you watching that didn't get to see that video, David, what did you see there?
The cartels basically guarding the border. I saw, I talked to a couple of them off camera and a little bit on camera. Things are heating up. They don't like this. You got to understand, we're interrupting, not just interrupting, we're stopping all of their business. This is their livelihoods. This is their mansions. These are their sports cars. These are their private jets. You think that they're just going to say, okay, they're not going to put up a fight? No, there's going to be a fight. And the fight that I think that's coming is cartels can't go against our military. There's no chance. But what they can do is kill innocent civilians, terrorist attacks, things like that, to make Trump look very bad. And I think that's the route they're going to go, is try to make this as messy as possible for Trump. But Claudia Sheinbaum is sending up 10,000 military personnel up to the border. To me, that's also a way you could put your chests in position. The robbers would really love to guard to be the ones guarding the bank, right? So that's who's guarding the bank. You're asking the robbers, the thieves, to guard the bank. So of course they're going to do it. But where this goes, I'm curious, just like anybody else. I know for a fact we'll annihilate them. It'll be over in weeks, not days. But guerrilla warfare, man, cartel warfare is a whole thing of its own. So I don't know what's going to happen. This is uncharted waters where we're going right now. This has never before been done. So my guess is as good as anybody else's. I'm right here on the border, but I can tell you could cut the tension with a knife, and people are pissed off. It's the world's changing fast. The Trump effect is real. This is, I mean, overnight. Everything's changing.
You know, something else that you said that you were staying close to the fire too, watching a lot. It was the artificial intelligence and AI. What did you think about the Stargate and Trump bringing, I forget his name, the person on saying that they want to do
Oracle
the mRNA cancer vaccine.
Well, no. Hell to the no.
Right?
Hell to the no. Okay, people that are buying this, you know, I got some ice to sell to an Eskimo. It's ridiculous. I don't know if you're gonna buy this. If you're gonna buy it, then that's on you. I don't like it one bit. That's the part. That's where I'm 1 foot in, 1 foot out with this. I understand we have to compete with China. I understand that we have to stay competitive, right? You know, with AI and all that. But when you're pushing mRNA vaccines and those same people are in charge, I have a very big problem with that, a very big one. So I'll be on it. I'm not, you know, I love Trump, but I'm not going to be shy about anything. I'm not going to be shy about a damn thing. So people better know that. I come out swinging all the time. So yeah, you could do 99% of things great, and that 1% can kill you. So yeah, I have a problem with it. I do have a problem with it.
I think a lot of us feel that way. And, you know, this is actually the second time that we've talked about mRNA. You actually gave me my first big show whenever I came on talking about mRNA with the last time with the COVID vaccines. I'm on all the platforms. It'll be fine. And ironically enough, we had brought up Robert Kennedy Jr.'s website, the Children's Health Defense. And it's just kind of funny how full circle this is all coming. He is moved on to the next committee vote to be confirmed for his position that Trump has appointed him for. But I really think that a lot of people are waking up and they're seeing, like, yeah, we do love Trump. We support a lot that he does, but warp speed wasn't one of them, and this isn't looking too good either.
No, I mean, I don't know what to tell those people. At first, I used to go to Trump's defense on this and say, you got to understand it was a chess move, and he had to do it. He had to pick the lesser of the evils in order to get us back to work, take us out of lockdowns. You know, he made them fumble the ball, basically, so to speak. But this, I don't have a defense for it. If you're pushing more of this, then what's the problem? Well, there's a problem here. There's a big problem, in my opinion. Yeah. And I'll always say what's on my heart. It bothers me. It really bothers me a lot because it's to me it's almost like, okay, you're doing everything that you're singing the right music, you're dancing to the right beat, but what is this? This right here is bothering me. Yeah. That's not right. And so I don't know how other people feel about it, but I know how I feel about it.
I mean, we've seen all of the cause and effects from the last, you know, COVID vaccine and the just illnesses and health, you know, this and that. And for him to like push it again or introduce something like that again, I truly don't understand it. And I'm hoping that more of that gets like exposed, that he explains it a little bit more, because not only am I not in with the AI, but I'm definitely not in with any more mRNA anything, especially mRNA vaccines. I think that's just an absurd idea to bring to the table.
There's some things. There's some things that I'm watching him do that I'm not behind. Like definitely the mRNA and then the Gaza thing. Right, I don't know. I'm really paying attention to this. And look, I don't like it. I'm just going to say that right now. So as soon as I find out more about it, what the reasoning is behind it, maybe I'll get behind it. But right now, I'm not.
And we only have about 10 minutes left. I want to be respectful of your time. I know that you're doing so much behind the scenes. You're always on the go, running on fumes. But you've built Nino'sCorner.tv so successful. You've brought so many voices, so many whistleblowers, so many people just wanting to tell their story and what's happened to them. Who has been one of your favorite interviews And has there ever been anybody that you were nervous to speak to before you interviewed them?
No, not nervous at all. And I don't get nervous. I think it's just because I used to get starstruck when I was about 17, 18 years old in boxing. And then I had to fight those guys. And so I celebrities do nothing to me. I look at everyone the same. I've always been like that since I was a kid, though. Like, I don't look at anyone any different than anybody else. I see everybody for who they are. We're all just people. And that's that. I don't get nervous, really. I think I have adrenal fatigue from boxing. I don't know. But for the most part, no, the way I built Nino's Corner.tv was obviously everyone was getting purged off YouTube, and no platform was safe to go at the time. So I contacted some people that I knew, and I said, "Can you build me a platform?" And they said, "Absolutely." So I built my own platform, and then obviously I got a lot of trolls over it, but tough. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's like I was smart enough to do it. And so I did that and built it and grew it and just give it sunlight and water, man. Just keep trying to bring the best guests on I can and be a place of free speech. There's a lot of times people say go on Rumble, but Rumble, I mean, I try to build my Rumble, but I only got 95,000 plus people there. And sometimes my uploads don't work depending on the topic. It's weird. It's a weird platform. I'm not,
yeah.
I can't do ads on it. I can't. So not the ones I'm doing on YouTube. So I try to take care of my YouTube channel and my Nino's Corner.tv. So, sorry, I don't know what to tell people except that I'm doing my best. And I think that my family there, and I call them a family because everyone who's on Nino's Corner.tv is the Black Sheep family. And they help me as much as I help them. Believe me when I say that. And the reason I say that is because if I miss a shot, they pick it up and rebound and give it back to me. And they'll say, it's like this. I'll be, oh, boom, thank you. So we do the investigating. We do the stories together. I ask a lot of their questions. Sometimes I'll go on X and say, hey, do you guys have any questions for my guests that I'm bringing on? Because I respect the opinions of my audience. Because some of them know a lot more than I do. They just don't have the platform. So it's been that's why it's successful, is because I respect my audience.
Now, who has been your favorite interview? Do you have one? I'm sure there's a handful of them.
Yeah, there's been quite a few, actually. I love Judge Joe Brown, David Icke. I had a great conversation with Roseanne Barr.
I love Roseanne. I would love to get her on sometime. Goals.
Yeah, there's Jaguar Wright was great. I mean, there's just so many. I don't even know. They're all so different. They all bring a unique perspective to the deep state war, and that's what I really enjoy, is that everyone has their own vantage point and perspective. So that to me is very important. And all I'm doing is putting the puzzle pieces together. My audience, they can believe what they want to believe, but I just put it there. And you think this is a good puzzle, piece to the puzzle, put it in there. If you don't, dismiss it. So I try to leave ego out of my podcasts and just do everything with an open mind and try to be a sponge.
It's definitely a wonderful platform that you have built. You guys, if you haven't subscribed to it yet, please go do that. All of the interviews are amazing. John will text me, he's like, hey, are you at like this far in whatever interview? And or we'll like share different interviews back and forth. So we definitely appreciate all the time and hard work that you've put into that. One thing that I want to kind of end on, so much is happening. And it's happening so quickly. What do you think we need to prepare for the most right now? Just
AI.
pulling out of central banks. I know that you are going to do a show on that pretty soon.
That's going to happen. That's going to happen. I think we need to pay attention to AI. That's the threat. That's what we got to watch. And who's in charge of the AI? That's it. Because that's going to be the money system. That's going to be the vaccines. That's going to be everything. So where are we really headed here? So I'm not about it, to be honest with you. I'm totally against it. Like I have not found anything good from it. Nothing. All the research I've done, No, it's the beast system. It is the beast system. Sorry, that's what it is. Whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God, it's still the beast system. It's coming. So who's bringing it in? Is Trump going to bring it in? I'm watching, man. Like I said, I voted Trump. I love Trump. I'm a patriot, but I'm definitely watching. None of that's any good if he's still going to bring in the beast system. None of it's good. Whether it's forced on you or you welcome it with open arms, it's still not good. So that's how I look at it.
I thank you so much for your time, for everything that you're doing for us, for your Black Sheep family. There's a lot of people that depend on that intel that you bring as much as you do, and I know a lot of people appreciate it. And I just want to thank you for your time today, David. Truly, it's been fun actually talking.
I appreciate you, Courtney. And then also, like, another thing, my audience needs to know, like, you're not going to agree with all my guests. You're just not. It's impossible to. But take what you want. If it adds to the, if it adds to the recipe, if it's an ingredient you want, take it. If not, then throw it out. That's all I say. I mean, I just bring them to the table, and then people pick and choose from there.
Yeah. You guys have to keep your minds open with some of the guests. A lot of them go down rabbit holes that we've never seen, but then you learn from their little breadcrumbs, and you can kind of stay afloat in amidst of everything that's happening. A lot's happening at a very fast pace, and it's always, overcoming. You definitely need to stay up with everything that's coming on. Listening to multiple sources is going to be your best bet, and you need to turn to alternative media to do that. I love that Trump is welcoming alternative media to the press corps. That's really something that's really cool. Mainstream media, legacy media is no more. And it's because of podcasts like yours that, are bringing that to the forefront. So I appreciate you. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And you guys, please just say a prayer for David's mom and dad. You guys know, if you're following over on his platform, all the things, but just keep their entire family in your prayers. And David, thank you so much for your time once again. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in. God bless you. God bless this country. And together we're Patriot Strong. Bye, guys. Okay, it's ended. I'll put up